Good afternoon, dear students. Today we are going to discuss about cosmid vector. In the last lectures, we have studied about vectors, especially plasmid vector and bacteriophages as vector. So here we are going to discuss about cosmid vector. Now cosmid, as the name itself suggests, is a type of hybrid vector. Hybrid of what? Hybrid of plasmid vector containing cos site of bacteriophages. So, a cosmid vector is a hybrid vector containing plasmid and cos site of bacteriophages. This vector was first described by Collins and Hone in the year 1978. Now, cosmid vector lack gene encoding for viral protein. Okay, they do not contain genes that code for viral protein. Therefore, neither viral particles are formed within the host cell, neither cell lysis will occur. Thus, a cosmid always forms colonies and not plaques. The cosmid will form colonies but not plaques. Now, if you want to study the characteristic features of a cosmid, the features that are similar to plasmid are: every cosmid contains bacterial origin of replication, which is called as oocyte. It contains antibiotic resistance gene, which is a marker gene. It contains cloning sites where you can cleave the vector by restriction enzyme and insert the foreign DNA inside it. And a cosmid has a very small size. But it also possesses characters which are not similar to plasmid. Okay, which are dissimilar to plasmid. What is that feature of a cosmid? It contains one or more cos sites, especially nowadays two cos sites derived from lambda phage. Now the size, if you look at the size of the cosmid, it is about 5 kb in length, and hence it can accommodate a foreign DNA fragment as large as 45 kbs. So what is the purpose of constructing the cosmid? That we can clone a large DNA fragment, large foreign DNA fragment as large as 40 to 45 kbs. Okay, and what are the specific features that cosmids, excuse me, cosmids are plasmid with one or two. So what is the purpose of designing a plasmid was? It can clone large foreign DNA insert as large as 45 kbs. And so what are the special features? That cosmids are plasmid containing one or more cos sites of lambda phage. And because of the presence of the cos site, the foreign DNA inserted inside the cosmid, that means the recombinant vector, can be packed in vitro into the lambda phage particle. Okay, because of the presence of the cos site, the vector can be packed inside phage head. Okay, that helps you in getting packed inside the phage head. But the lambda phages, they do not contain, you can say, they do not code for any viral proteins. So the cell will not die, the cell lysis will not occur. So cosmids are plasmid vectors which contain cos site. The cos site is the only requirement for packaging the DNA into phage head. Cosmids hence were developed in the light of following observations. Why they were developed? To clone DNA into vector as you can do it in a plasmid. To introduce the DNA into bacterial cell with the help of a phage particle and propagate it as a plasmid. Okay. So cosmids will be propagated as plasmid. Now, if you look at the small, you can say, basic diagram of a cosmid or features of a cosmid, it contains, as you can see, it contains antibiotic resistance gene shown here. It contains restriction enzyme site, say for example for EcoR1. It contains bacterial origin of replication, and it contains cos site derived from lambda phages. Within the cos site also there is a site for cutting with restriction enzyme. Okay, so it contains origin of replication, cos sites. Okay, and recombination sites where it can be cut, like restriction digestion by EcoR1, SME1, etc. Okay, so these are the basic features of a cosmid vector. Now, how a foreign DNA can be inserted? Here, we've shown a cosmid vector which contains cos site, okay, antibiotic resistance marker gene, origin of replication. Now, the first thing is with the help of BAM-H1 it can be digested or cut open, right? And we can insert. You can see here insert, word insert is written. So here in between, when it is cut open with the help of BAM-H1, cut down into 2 pieces, foreign DNA fragment can be inserted. And once it is inserted inside, you can get with the help of the cos site, the cosmid will circularize, and this is a cosmid clone. That means it is a cosmid. This thing is a cosmid containing a large foreign DNA fragment inserted inside it. Okay. Now this recombinant vector can be introduced into the cloning organism. So you can see here we have foreign DNA fragments, we have a cosmid, then the foreign DNA fragment are inserted inside the cosmid vector, okay, and then they are packaged into phage head, and they are allowed to infect E. coli cells. Upon infection with E. coli cells, E. coli cell will not be lysed because viral proteins are not produced. And because antibiotic resistance marker gene is present in the cosmid, we have to screen antibiotic resistant bacteria and find out the cells which contain cosmid vector with insert inside them. Okay, this is how a foreign gene can be cloned inside a cosmid. Alright, the next type of vector is a phasemid vector, also called as a phagemid. Now phasemid or phagemid is again a hybrid vector of plasmid and filamentous phage like M13 phage. Now, the phagemids contain the origin of replication and selectable marker genes of a plasmid. Okay, so phasemid is also a hybrid vector containing plasmid plus filamentous phage M13. Sometimes it is said it contains at site of a phage. Plasmid contain origin of replication and selectable marker gene from plasmid. Phasemid contain along with origin of replication and selectable marker gene from plasmid. The phasemid contains some part of genes of filamentous phage. What is it? Intergenic sequence from filamentous phage. Why this intergenic sequence is needed? It is necessary for initiation and termination of viral DNA synthesis and for morphogenesis of phage particle, synthesizing different parts of a phage particle. Okay. Now phasemid or a phagemid replicate as a plasmid. When a phasemid or a phagemid is inserted inside a host cell, it will replicate as if it is a plasmid because it contains origin of replication and marker genes of a plasmid. But when the cells harboring these phagemids are infected with a suitable filamentous phage, phagemid genome behaves like that of a phage. Okay, so phagemids usually in their host or cloning organism behave as plasmid, but if the cloning organism is infected with a filamentous phage which will behave as a helper phage, the phagemid genome will behave like that of a phage. So it can behave like a plasmid as well as like a phage. Phasemid is thus a gene cloning vector consisting of artificial combination of a plasmid with a phage such that its genome contains functional origin of replication of both. It may thus be propagated either as a plasmid or as a phage. What is the case with a cosmid? Cosmid can be propagated only like a plasmid. It will not kill the host cell. But phasemids or phagemid can be propagated like a plasmid as well as like a phage depending upon the host strain. So a phasemid is formed by insertion of one or more plasmid molecule into phage genome. Say for example, a phasemid vector molecule designated as PMYF11 has been constructed. This vector combines useful features of plasmid and phage vector lambda. Okay, PMYF11 is a hybrid of lambda 47.1 vector and PBr322 plasmid. So PMYF11 is a hybrid. Okay, phase mid. Okay, hybrid of what? Lambda vector and PBr322 plasmid. The maximum size of fragment that can be cloned inside this vector is 21 kb. Okay, now a library of Escherichia coli genes is constructed with the help of this phase mid, that is PMYF11 as a vector molecule. So if you look at this diagram, you can see a phage mid having antibiotic resistance gene and origin of replication as if in a plasmid, but they also contain filamentous bacteriophage origin. Right. So along with that, it contains a promoter gene, signal peptides and all which is needed for replication. So this can be replicated like a plasmid also in the host, or it can be replicated also like a phage in the host cell. So that is about a phage mid. The next and important type of vectors are shuttle vectors. Now shuttle vectors, as the name suggests, they are designed in such a way that they can shuttle between two different host systems. That means, say for example, if a shuttle vector is constructed by using E. coli and yeast cells, then the vector will be propagated, can be propagated in E. coli also as well as in yeast also. That means it can be shuttled between prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms. So shuttle vectors are the plasmids. Again, they are hybrid molecules designed for use in multiple cell types or designed for be using in different host system, that is prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Shuttle vector is constructed by using bacterial origin of replication in a yeast plasmid. Okay, so bacterial of origin of replication using a yeast plasmid. That means that it will have a yeast plasmid and bacterial origin of replication. So it can replicate in bacteria as well as it can replicate in yeast. Thus the origin of replication of different host system is present. Like E. coli and yeast are combined in one plasmid. The presence of multiple origin of replication or multiple oocyte allows replication in both prokaryotic and eukaryotic host cells, allowing the transfer between different cell types. That means transferred. The same vector can be transferred between, say, E. coli yeast, E. coli other mammalian cells, right? Now, shuttle vectors also contain selectable marker genes like antibiotic resistance gene or leucine gene or tryptophan gene from yeast, and cloning sites. Cloning sites are those where it can be cut with restriction enzyme and foreign DNA can be cloned. Thus, the shuttle vector can replicate in two different organisms, bacteria and yeast, or mammalian cells and bacteria. Two different bacteria like E. coli and streptococcus, like that, bacillus. Okay, they have the appropriate origin of replication. So, they can replicate in two different hosts. Hence, one can clone a gene in bacteria, modify it or mutate it in bacteria, and test the function of the gene by introducing it into a yeast or any mammalian cell. So, we can maintain the vector or shuttle the vector between both the hosts, say like yeast, E. coli or E. coli bacillus. So, we can shuttle it or maintain it in two different hosts, and hence the name shuttle vectors, or they are also called as binary vectors because they can be propagated in two hosts. So, they are also called as binary vector. Now, transfer of genes between unrelated species is one of the important requirements of molecular biology, and hence shuttle vectors have potential importance in genetic engineering experiments. Now here we have shown a shuttle vector which contains bacterial origin of replication as well as yeast oocyte, yeast origin of replication. So it can propagate in yeast as well as in bacteria. It contains antibiotic resistance gene like a plasmid of bacteria, multiple cloning sites where we can clone the foreign gene. It contains yeast centromere sequence so that it can be propagated in yeast. It also contains LEU2 gene, leucine biosynthesis gene. So it's a shuttle vector made from vectors of two different hosts, one prokaryotic and another one eukaryotic, right? So that is about shuttle vectors. One more important type of vector used nowadays is yeast artificial chromosome, YAC, or bacterial artificial chromosome, BAC. So YAC or YAC is yeast artificial chromosome. Now this is a hybrid vector, hybrid molecule which contains components of yeast, protozoa and bacterial plasmid. Okay, so YAC is a combination of, it's a hybrid vector containing the components of yeast as well as bacterial plasmids and protozoans, right? What are the factors of yeast? Oocyte, that is ARS, autonomously replicating sequence from yeast, so it can multiply in yeast. It contains selectable marker genes of yeast, tryptophan 1 gene or URA3 gene, which will help it in the identification of the vector inside the yeast cells. It also contains yeast centromere, that is very important during mitotic division and all. It contains certain characteristics of protozoans also, like tetrahymena. It contains telomeric sequence. Yeast telomeres also can be used, but here they have used protozoal telomeric sequence. Now what are the features taken from bacterial plasmid? Polylinker site, multiple cloning sites from a bacterial plasmid. Now the yeast artificial chromosome can accommodate, they are constructed for accommodation of large foreign DNA fragments. It can accommodate more than 1 MB, that means 1000 kilobase pairs inside it. Okay, so of as large as or more than 1000 kb of foreign DNA can be inserted inside YAC, and hence it has been used in cloning human genome also. Okay, so like we have, you can see from the diagram, that's human DNA, okay, fragmented by using restriction endonucleases, and the YAC vectors are cut open and the human DNA can be inserted inside the YAC vector or cloned inside the YAC vector. When it is cloned in yeast, it will be a linear DNA, and when it will be cloned in E. coli, it will be in the form of a circular DNA. So large foreign DNA fragments can be cloned using a YAC vector. So yeast artificial chromosome is a human engineered DNA molecule. It's a human engineered DNA molecule used to clone DNA sequences in yeast cells. YACs or yeast artificial chromosomes are plasmid shuttle vectors capable of replicating and being selected in common bacterial hosts like E. coli as well as in the budding yeast, that is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So that is all about different types of vectors like plasmid vectors, bacteriophage vectors that we have discussed in the last lecture. Today we have discussed about cosmids, phasmids, then shuttle vectors and YACs, yeast artificial chromosome.